In one of my previous videos, I asked people to email me if they were interested in getting some design advice on their home. Now, I only have 2,000 subscribers, so I was like, I don't know if anybody's gonna email me. I don't know if anybody wants help with their space. But I was pleasantly surprised to get a few emails. So we're gonna be diving in today to someone's home, making over their space. I learned how to use Photoshop this week. I know. And let me tell you, it was quite the task. I could feel the stress bubbling up inside of my body because things on Photoshop are not quite as simple as they are on MS Paint. Okay, I've been using MS Paint. It's very basic. You can copy, you can paste, you can crop out little things. You know, the tools are very straightforward. There's only a few little tools. And then you get into Photoshop and everything's in layers and there's a ton of tools. But I wanted to use the Photoshop. I needed to use the Photoshop because I wanted to be able to remove things from the room and adjust things more than you can on Paint, yada, yada, yada. So I got to it, okay? I learned a new skill this week. I still don't know if I'm doing everything efficiently and properly on Photoshop, but I'm making it work. And I made it work, okay? So here we go. This subscriber is from Barcelona. Barcelona. I know, Barcelona, let's go. Side note, I love Barcelona. It was one of my favorite places I've been. I was traveling in 2019 in Europe for 2 months, and I didn't have my trip planned. I was just kind of bopping around, staying in places as long as I wanted to. And I got to Barcelona, and I think I had my hostel booked for like 3 nights or something, and I extended it to 5. I was like, can I stay here longer, please? I have too much to do, and there's too many cool things I want to see. So I love Barcelona. It was a very cool city. And this lovely lady is looking for advice on the layout of her living room and dining room, it seems. Or am I assuming? Yes. And her dining room. So she says that this was her grandparents' home. She's renovating to live there hopefully soon. And in this tight space, it's kind of like a long, narrow room with doors. So it's kind of also a walkway to get from room to room, it seems. And she'd like to fit a sofa across from a projector screen, a small dining area, and then she wants to keep the 2 bookcases, this red console table that's very cool, and this cool lamp that she has, and the media console situation, she says, which I'm assuming is this wooden media unit that she has. And she also sent me a mood board of her style, which is very fun and cool. She says she likes the 70s, and in her mood board we can see that she likes lots of modern fun lamps, some fun pops of color, however lots of earthy tones, stripes, lots of wood furniture, some chrome, maybe some greenery, books, very cool inspo. So working with what we've got here, we are going to make over this space on Photoshop as best we can. All right, y'all. Now, immediately, my first thoughts are, okay, we want a projector. That means that we wouldn't want it near the window, or we want the window to be dark because otherwise you can't watch TV during the day. However, there's this little nook spot near this window. And I thought that maybe this was a sliding door, but now that I'm looking at it closer, I think that it's actually just a window in this back wall. So we could totally have this as like a little nook with the sofa and the projector. This is a little cozy zone because I would prefer to have the dining space on the other side, because dining rooms often have 2 entryways in a closed home. I feel like it usually is more of a walk-through space and looks more normal when it's a walk-through space, whereas your living room, you kind of don't want awkward walking around the couch all the time, whereas like a dining area, you can just like tuck the chairs in and it's easy to walk around when you're not using it because there is a door right next to the other side of the room. And I can't really tell exactly what the scale is in these photos, but I think this side of the room also is smaller probably and would be easier to fit the dining area. Now, in today's video, we're just going to do the living room. I don't want you to be disappointed at the end. I was working away trying to figure out Photoshop this week, okay? So I only managed to do the living room. We're going to do the dining room next week. Okay, let's get started. I'm so excited. Obviously, we can see there's lots of things here. She did mention she's adding the photos of the before so you can see all that she doesn't need. And yeah, there's lots of stuff in these rooms. I'm assuming it was just her grandparents' stuff, and that's why she doesn't care to keep all of it. Totally fine. Also, I'm seeing some string hanging across the top, and she didn't mention the string. So I would be interested to know what this string is that's hanging from the ceiling. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. We're going to remove everything from this room. First things first, of course, we've got to start with an empty slate. Now, I would give these walls a fresh coat of paint. Most of her inspiration has white walls. I'm more comfortable with white walls. We can add color in other areas, especially because this is such a big room. So we're gonna go neutral walls, okay? We're going for like a creamy, warm toned white, okay? Now I'm also going to open up those blinds. Those blinds are spooky, okay? I'll be the first to say it. I know the type of blind and it's really convenient. It's gonna be really convenient because if this is where our movie zone is gonna be with a projector, it'd be nice to close those blinds and get it real dark in here, but those are some spooky blinds, those ones that go down on the outside of the house, but very functional. So we'll keep them, but we will add some more curtains later, okay? But for now, we're going to roll them up, assuming they roll up. I think that those definitely roll up. No, they definitely roll up. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to use the window. Okay, then I added this dark brown rug. And because I can tell that she likes stripes from her inspo, and I love stripes as well, I went for this dark brown striped rug. But then as soon as I added her maroon red table that I am going to make the coffee table, because this space is so narrow, we're going to use this table as the coffee table because it looks like it's the right height for a coffee table and it's very cool. And I think it'll work well for that because you don't want a big coffee table in a tight space because I don't want something that's hard to like walk around and you're always stubbing your toe and stuff, you know what I mean? So something long and narrow like this I think will be perfect for the coffee table in here. But I really don't like how it's looking with the rug. I kind of want the coffee table to pop more, especially since I know that she loves it. And so immediately we're going to change out the rug. We're not like that rug. We're having rugrats, okay? I actually prefer this rug too because it's warmer. It's also lighter. It's warming up a space. It's lighting up the space. And I like this pattern and this texture, but it's not too crazy. Rugs, I feel like, as much as I would love to go for a really kooky, crazy rug in a fun color, they're so expensive and they're so big and such a pain to change out that I think playing it safe with the rug makes life a little easier. You know, you can always reupholster a piece of furniture and stuff like that, but you can't really change a rug. A rug is a rug. A rug is a rug is a rug is a rug. Rug. And so we're gonna do this cool neutral rug. And I love how the red coffee table is looking here. We're gonna add the red coffee table. Bear with me because like I said, I just learned how to use Photoshop this week. Okay, don't you dare say anything about my bad Photoshop skills because I really gave it my all here. But when the piece of furniture is not in the proper direction, it was really hard to warp it so that it would look normal in this photo. Anyways, I tried my best, but this is what we ended up with for the coffee table. Trust me, once everything comes together, it's gonna look better, okay? This just looks a little bit wonky right now. Same with, unfortunately, the couch. I decided to go for this stripy couch, which I also was looking on Facebook Marketplace in Barcelona, and there was lots of 70s couches that were really cool and striped if you wanted to try and find one of those. But yeah, something in a fun pattern would be kind of cool. And I think if you went for a more neutral couch, since you like fun patterns and stripes, then maybe I would go for a striped rug or something a little bit more fun color. Anyway, we're gonna go for this striped couch. I love this couch. And I decided to go dark because it's kind of grounding the space a little bit more and adding more contrast here. Then we're gonna add in the media console that she liked from the other side of the room. We're hopefully going to fit it into this space. Yet again, I can't really tell with the scale if it would fit here, but I'm really hoping that it would because I think it would be perfect right here. And then personally, I think that even if you can't fit a couple chairs or a big comfy armchair, I think it's nice to have even just a small chair across from a sofa, just because then if someone comes over and you want to chat, you can sit across from them, or then not everybody has to squish onto the couch or something. And in her inspo there was some chrome touches, and I would love to add a little chrome chair. I love a chrome chair. It also is kind of given 70s vibe. This one I think was very expensive and bougie, but we may as well just go big for the inspo, right? So even just something with a similar vibe. If you could fit it in that little corner, either next to the wooden cabinet or just in front of the wooden cabinet, and maybe just block some of the drawers and put stuff in there that you don't need that often. If you could sneak a little chair in there, I think it would be nice to round out this little living room space. And now we're gonna style this shelf. I can see that there's quite a few books in this home, and you have books in your inspo, so I'm wondering if you have books. If you have books, you should totally fill up this cabinet with books, of course. I also would love if we could throw a little lamp in there. Opted for this red. I love a contrasting red. I love a maroon with a bright red. I think it'd be fun to have a bright red lamp on that shelf. And then maybe just to break up more of the books, we could do some books on the bottom with like a little piece of art on top of the books. You can have like the stack of books horizontally, and then just have like a picture frame, one that stands on its own with a cute little piece of art on that bottom shelf. I think would look kind of cool. We'll throw a couple pillows on this couch. I love a contrasting pattern, maybe from the stripes, something fun. And then I just did like a solid green, just to kind of tie in the green chair in the corner that I put here. Now I'm putting a stack of books onto the coffee table. I love red and yellow together, so maybe a bright yellow book on top of the coffee table might be kind of nice look. And then I put a pale yellow vase on top of that bright yellow book. Two different tones of the same color, slap them together, a little monochromatic moment on this coffee table. Why not? I like it. I like it a lot. Now let's take it back to these windows in this spooky blind situation. I would do a track curtain. You know, we love a track curtain. And I would do white, honestly. I love the idea of a fun colored curtain, but whatever color your curtains are, when the sun's shining through, it's gonna make the whole room that color. I would do a yellow though, because I feel like that just warms up the room. I wouldn't give it too much of a yellow glow if it was like a pale yellowed curtain. So if you love color, I would go yellow curtains here. I've always been interested in doing some yellow curtains, but I prefer the white ones. So we're just gonna stick with the white ones, even though the yellow looks cool too. Nextly, we're gonna add a little stool next to this couch. It doesn't need to be anything crazy, you know, we're working with a tight space, but even just a little stool as a side table that you could throw your drink on, or you could pop a little candle on there, or you can use it as a stool if someone needs a seat. And I wanted this dark brown one, but then after seeing it all together, I think it's too much brown. So we're going to change it out for this silver one and balance out that silver in that chair and the silver of the windows. Gonna balance that out, bring it over here next to the couch, just like a basic silver stool as a side table here. And that back corner, I think, could use a lamp. This is a perfect opportunity to use a floor lamp. They don't take up too much space. Or you could put a little sconce on the wall if you wanted to as well in that corner, but we're gonna do a floor lamp. I think it would be nice to bring in a fabric lampshade because the hypothetical little red lamp that I used directs the light down. It doesn't look like you could see the light through it, and it doesn't look like you could see the light through her lamp either. Her lamp, we'll use it on the dining room side, but it's got this chrome lampshade, and I think it'll just direct the light down. So it'd be nice to have some diffused light in there with a fabric lampshade just to balance it out a little. And because then it gives the room like a nice glow. And the space is really coming together. Okay, I feel that behind the couch, we've got this big blank wall, which when the curtains are closed, the other wall would be a big blank white wall too. So I'd like to put something on here, which there was lots of little pieces of art that were kind of cool in here. You could put a few of those up and do a little gallery wall if you wanted to, or just slap a big piece of art on this wall behind the couch. I opted for this more neutral option because I feel like we're getting lots of colors, and also because the bookshelf on the other side is so busy with all the books and the lamp. I feel like there's so many colors going on that it might be nice to just have like a kind of calm, neutral piece of art on the other wall. But I did throw in a red frame. Paint that frame around that big piece of art. Let's do a pop bright red in there. Like I said, the contrasting red with the coffee table, I love this. I mean, you know, I'm a color lover, so I would like to do a colorful frame around that piece of art, whatever it may be. And then we've run into a bit of a problem here where you can see that the window, the cabinet, and the piece of art would all be about the same height. So I'm actually gonna make the cabinet even taller by putting some things up there. So we're adding a vase with some flowers, gonna add a picture up there. Again, I went for a more neutral piece of art up there, and I did a black frame to balance out the darkness of the couch. I think that that's an easy way to try and figure out what you need on the other side of the room, is by looking at the one side of the room and just trying to, you know, balance it out. I don't know. Do I know what I'm doing? Do I know what I'm saying? No. But that's what I would do. That's what I would do. Balance. Balance it out, baby. Life's all about balance. That's what they're telling me anyway. And then, of course, we're missing one big piece de resistance, which is watching TV. Watching TV. We love watching TV. So throw a projector screen up here. Ideally, I think you could put the projector screen on top of that cabinet. You could just use a blackout roller blind, like those vinyl ones that are white. You could use that as your projector screen because I think that that would screw onto the top of this cabinet really nicely. Or just a regular projector screen. I don't know, something that you could put on top of there. So, I mean, you can still see it, but it's kind of out of the way up there. And because I feel like that would be the perfect height to just roll it down, then it'd be at perfect eye level for the projector. If you can't put it on top of the cabinet, sure, just put it on the ceiling, I think, in front of the cabinet. Like that'd be fine too, but I think it just might be a little bit too high then, unless you get like a really long projector screen. So ideally you could put it on this cabinet. And of course, you got a projector screen, you need the projector. Now I would put just a thin shelf behind the couch, or even like on top of the couch. That's like a similar color to the couch. You know, it's kind of hiding back there. It doesn't necessarily need to be the whole length of the couch. You could just do a small one. We just need to put that projector up there. Just a little space for the projector so that it can look across and project your lovely movies and whatnot. Also, overhead lighting. It looks like there's this light in this room. I think it's in the middle of the room, so it would kind of be in both spaces. But I think this ceiling light is fine. It's just like a glass light. Hopefully you could put a dimmer switch in maybe so that you could dim it if you want to, or just don't even use it and then it's not even that noticeable up there because it's a flush glass light. But I kind of like the look of this light and it's doing some fun things on the ceiling. So anyways, we're gonna keep that light and we're pretty much done here. I think it's really come together. The only thing that I'm not loving the look of is the cabinet. Something about the wooden cabinet and the wooden door being right next to it, I want to break that up. So we're going to throw a little plant up there because she did have some plant in her inspo. So I'm assuming she likes plants and is open to having a plant. So we're going to throw a plant up on top of this cabinet that could drape down, and then we're done. And this is looking awesome. Hopefully the scale works out. It looks like there's kind of some extra room here, but I'm just assuming that the couch and the tables are taking up more space in this narrow room than I can convey on this Photoshop photo. So anyways, this is the whole space done. Let me know what you guys think about this living room makeover. Let me know what you would have done differently. Let me know if I'm missing anything. Any more tips for our girl? Throw them down in the comments, okay? And stay tuned for next week, because we're doing the dining room side and I'm excited. I'm excited to get back on a Photoshop and see if my skills have improved. See if it takes me any shorter this time, because it took me quite a while. Quite a few hours were spent on Photoshop. And I loved every minute of it. It actually was really fun, and it's fun to see the result thrown together, making like a little room mood board. And it's good too, because then you can see the things that you don't like the look of and how it would work in the space. So that's all I have to report for this week, guys. Don't forget to subscribe, okay? Subscribe so that you can see the dining room makeover next week. If you want to see it, you have to subscribe. Otherwise, I'm not going to let you see it. You're not going to see it unless you're subscribed, okay? I'm going to set the settings so that it's subscribers only. I'm not going to do that. I don't even know if you can do that, but you should subscribe if you want to see it, because how else will you see it? You think I'm just going to magically reappear on your FYP? My camera died, of course, right when I'm about to finish the video. But I want to show you what I got in Japan. So Brendan and I went to Japan. We were there for 2.5 weeks. It was really fun. It was very cool. It's a crazy country over there. The 7-Elevens were awesome. You can just go and get little snacks, onigiris, like a little triangle of sushi rice that something is wrapped inside and that's wrapped in seaweed. It's like a sushi, but like a hand sushi that you can just eat. And you can get smoothies at 7-Eleven. You can just get like, they just have cups of frozen fruit, and then you put it in this little machine and it makes you a fresh smoothie, and it's like $3. That's another thing. Things were very cheap. It was crazy how cheap it was. And yeah, it was really fun. It was super busy. I was going to vlog. I kind of did vlog a little bit. We'll see if I do make a vlog of it, but it was just really busy. It was a lot of exploring, lots of shopping, even though we didn't really buy that much, but you just really get into the shopping there because there's just all these shops all around, and it's busy and everybody's shopping and you just go shopping. But we saw lots of temples, very cool. We did like a couple walking tours and learned lots about the history, the Japanese history, which was very interesting and cool. And we did the 3 main cities. And then we went to this little southern town called Miyazaki and Takachiho, which is where we saw lots of cool nature. In Takachiho, there's this gorge. It's like 2 cliff sides and then there's like a river running through it. It was absolutely stunning. And then we woke up early the next morning in Takachiho and we went and saw the Sea of Clouds. It's this thing that happens between September and November where all the clouds drop low in the valley because it's so cold at night, and then you get to see it, like they all look amazing during the sunrise, and as soon as the sun rose, all of a sudden the clouds all lifted and we were like in so much fog and cloud. It was crazy, but that was really cool. That was one of the coolest parts of our trip for sure. Other than that, just really cool country. Yeah, the streets were really cool, all the wooden buildings, of course, the Japan design style, and lots of really cool cars. If you don't know, my favorite car is a Nissan Cube. It's a very cool car. Almost a cartoony car. I've always loved it. It's my favorite car. And boy, oh boy, do they have lots of those styles of cars in Japan. Very boxy cars, cute little vans and stuff like that. Lots of cool colors. I loved the cars. Anyway, onto the stuff. So we only bought a couple exciting things. Brendan got Sambas. He got these cool sneakers. They are like dark brown. I don't know. You know what Sambas are. They're nice Sambas. Anyways, we got this little pot at a street market one night. I'm going to put a little plant in there. I liked the colors. I thought it was cool. It was $9 Canadian. And then we got these all for $2 Canadian each for soy sauce, because right now we're just using like boring little square white ones. So we're going to put soy sauce in here for when we have sushi. They're like a very cool green ceramic. We got 4 of them from this little shop. We got a couple of vases for some family and stuff. And we got some tea and stuff. I got matcha. This place is over 200 years old, this shop that we found. It's called Horaido, I think. I'll link it. And this is ceremonial matcha, this little tin. And I got my friends a couple of these too, and I got my mom some green tea from this shop because my mom loves green tea. We also got some cool pens. Brendan's loving his pen that he got. And this is the bag from the tea shop. I thought it was cool. I think I'm gonna frame it. And then other than that, we just got some salt, some thick sea salt from Okinawa, which is one of the islands that's in southern Japan. And we don't have any like larger flakes of salt, so we got that. And then I did get 6 jars of this. This is chili garlic crunch oil. It's one of my favorite things. And this jar here is $9 Canadian at our local Asian grocery store. And they're selling it in the 7-Elevens there for less than $4. Less than half the price. So I did bring home 6 jars of that. And that's all that we bought. And we had an awesome time. Just in case anybody was wondering, that's my little Japan spiel. And I'm gonna go eat some Thai curry soup that I just made with Brendan. Maybe watch a Christmas movie. Who knows? But I'll see you guys next week for part 2. We're gonna make over this lovely subscriber's dining room. So stay tuned for that. And I'll see you there. Okay, goodbye.